Sacramento Kings start the new year with a loss to the Boston Celtics on their home floor, 120 to 106. Doesn't tell the whole story though. Deuce Mason, Morgan Ragan talking about this loss for the Sacramento Kings, and I say that because the Kings, well, they just got back from Los Angeles after losing horribly to the Clippers and the Lakers. We keep asking where their response was going to be. What are we going to see next? We saw a much better game tonight. The compete level is there, and that's exactly where we are in this season. It's not even so much about being disappointed in a win or a loss or whatever it is. It's just about, hey, did they bring it tonight? And look, they brought it, but there's still so many things that we need to touch on that just didn't go right.
It's funny because I hear that.
Yeah.
And I'm with it to a certain extent.
I know.
That fourth quarter bugged me.
That's where I'm at with what I want to pick apart.
The fourth quarter really bugged me. Yeah. The ball gets so stagnant. And Boston's a great team. We know. Boston, #1 offense in December. #3 seed. We understand. Okay, we can acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But the Kings were with them for a large stretch of this game. Fourth quarter comes, and you see them stop moving, over dribbling, stagnant, bad shot selection. It's one thing to miss all your threes in a quarter like they did in the fourth quarter, but I think if you went back and looked at some of those threes, I'd say the majority of them were not good looks from downtown. And that just has to be better. When you're not a good team, the margin for error is so slim, so slim. And so, in my opinion, this game should have been a lot better at the end than it was.
When we were talking about the three-pointers that were generated at the half, I mean, we were excited here sitting at the half talking about just how they were made, right? How you had people collapsing the defense, driving it in, kicking it out, moving the ball around. It's not like, sure, Boston, they're going to make in-game adjustments. They're going to do what they need to do. Joe Mazzulla, great coach, all the different things. But it didn't feel like it was the defense necessarily dictating everything that the Kings could have been doing to generate some better threes in that second half, especially in that fourth quarter, Deuce.
Yeah, it seems like the groups that consistently get good looks are ones that feature like Schroeder, Keon Ellis, right? Nick Clifford, Keegan. Guys who have some shooting ability, but also want to share the ball on a consistent basis. There are too many times that we don't see that often, right? And when the Kings made a bit of a push in the third quarter, you know, Boston got off to a nice start, 7-0 run. You're like, oh, this is trouble. The Kings answered because they started getting stops and they moved the ball and did some good things. But this team just doesn't do it consistently. And I guess part of it, too, is like the reality is what we've said. This is not a good basketball team, but it is tough to watch when they don't execute like they should.
Yes.
And to your point, yeah, Boston is a good team, but they were scoring on Boston in the first half.
Exactly.
And the one thing you don't want to do against Boston is hold the ball, over dribble, and stand around. You don't want to do that against anybody.
Well, and some of the other things, too, that I noticed, especially late in the game, and again, this is where we're at with an 8-win basketball team. So then when you see things going right, I do question when Doug, for example, went back to Russell Westbrook. He was at 19 minutes, I believe, in the entire game, and then he went in at like the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter. But it was the flow of everyone that was out there. It all looked like it was working well. So I was like, all right, what's going to happen here? Westbrook, not a strong fourth quarter for him.
No.
Missing a lot of shots, holding on to the basketball and everything. And then Doug goes, okay, I'm going to put Dennis Schroeder back in. Puts him in for Keon, who was playing fantastic on the defensive end. Sure, sometimes putting his hand in there, getting a foul, whatever.
Keon was great in this game.
Exactly, but also making his shots. And it was confusing because it went away from exactly what Doug talks about that he wants to do as a coach and as an identity with this team.
And I think that's the challenge is, you know, as a coach, you want to give someone an opportunity to go out there and play better, especially someone like Westbrook who has a resume he does and can do it. But here's the but. You're 8-26 now. So at this point, you need to go with people that you think are playing the right way. And if guys are playing with the pace that you want, they're playing with the ball movement that you want, defensively they're bringing what you need. then go with those guys.
it
And
there.
Russ, it was not Russ's night tonight. I thought defensively he had some major issues in this game.
Yeah.
I think he has a tendency at times off ball to ball watch a little bit. And against the Celtics team, with the amount of screens that they set and the shooting they have, you just can't do that. And then I thought the shot selection, especially from three, I mean, the Kings were 0 for 10 from three in the fourth quarter.
Oof.
Russ was 0 for 4 in his time from downtown in the fourth quarter. He ends up taking the most threes tonight, 2 for 9 from downtown. So that's just not playing, in my opinion, to your strengths.
And it was surprising to see, too. You talk about Russ and his shooting, but for this team to stay in it as long as they did, and Keegan Murray have the night that he had, he was 3 of 13 from the field, 1 of 4 from three-point land. I mean, he was missing bunnies. He was getting good passes, and it didn't matter if it was like in a slip action or wherever he was on the floor. It looked like he was getting good looks, just couldn't knock them down tonight.
Celtics pack the paint, and they
do.
have length everywhere, and they have recovery too. When Derek White's length, it's hard to finish over Derek White. Keegan did it one time tonight, but you're right, he struggled inside. I felt like, I like the aggressiveness, him attacking.
Yeah.
But hey, if you collapse that defense, get off the ball and see if you can get the defense in rotation. But he also missed some good looks around the rim. It was not a good night for him offensively.
No.
3 of 13 in this game. And
you talk about getting off the ball. I remember there was a moment even later on in the second half where Max was inside. And I've been loving Max going to work, doing his thing in the paint, especially we're seeing that he has finesse with the little hook shot, push shot, wherever he's shooting in the paint. But there was a moment where DeMar DeRozan was just so wide open in
the
that
first
corner.
half. And
was that the first half?
It was the end of the first half. Max had like 3 guys on
Great
him
memory.
in the paint.
Yeah.
And he went up instead of going to the open man. And that's just a lesson for a rookie who, by the way, in the second half when that situation came, on the short roll, he found the open shooter. That was Keon Ellis. So it's, okay, don't make that same mistake twice. But, yeah, I think the Kings do have a tendency at times to be forcing stuff inside. And the way teams are defending them right now, you just can't do it. They're collapsing all over you. It's hard to finish around the rim. I don't even know what the final numbers were in the paint for Sacramento in terms of efficiency in the paint. Let's see here. 58%.
And can I just say, thank goodness for your memory.
Why?
Because all that shows, too, is that when that happened in the first half and the fact that he made that adjustment in the second half.
That's good, yeah.
I mean, he's a sponge. He's learning. Derek White, you mentioned him and what he was able to do, especially against Keegan Murray, just making his life more difficult. Derek White finished with 2 blocks, 2 steals, 16 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Yeah. Man, he was doing it all out there, Deuce.
He was a monster in this game, and what growth from him. I know he hasn't been super efficient this year overall, but just a defensive menace. He ends up with 14 points in the fourth quarter, and that's when you know he's got the confidence. Has a mismatch, Max on him. Max, by the way, I thought did a good job defensively a few times tonight. Out on the perimeter, something we've seen him do pretty well.
Yes.
Even on Derek White, but, Derek was feeling it in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, Max in that pick and roll action, he does a really good job of just understanding when he needs to be in drop, when he needs to hedge, where he needs to be with these defenders. And he just does a great job being a help defender. But it's really hard when you're taking on this Boston Celtics team that was obviously able to make so many of their shots, 50% from the field, 41% from three-point land. They ended up attempting 41
I told
threes
you, they're going to get their 40. They're going to get their 40 every single night. It doesn't matter. They could hit 10 of them. They're getting up 40. That's what they do. And I thought their bench tonight was fantastic, too. I thought they set the tone. The balance everywhere. I mean, you got to think, Jaylen Brown started 1 of 8 in this game.
Yes.
Looks like he was struggling, had 10 points at the half. He gets it going. The bench was awesome. They're just a tough team.
Let's talk more about the bench coming up, but first, Keegan Murray spoke after the game. Let's get reaction right now from Keegan Murray.
Hey, Keegan, what was the difference in the fourth quarter?
I think, they made shots, we missed shots. I think we're 0 from 3 in the fourth quarter, so I think that's just the biggest difference.
How much did you feel like this was still progress offensively for you guys compared to those last 2 LA games?
I think we played a lot faster with more pace, which got us, I feel like, a lot of more easy baskets, a lot more kick-out threes, especially in that first quarter and in the first half too. So I think our pace picked up. We weren't playing in the half court as much against a set defense.
Keegan, DeMar has been pretty efficient across the board offensively this season. I know there's only one ball, so many mouths to feed on this offense, but what have you learned from his efficiency offensively and how he works over the last couple of years?
Yeah, he's been great. I think the biggest thing that you notice is he gets to his spots pretty regularly, and he knows what he's going to get every time he touches the ball. So he's been in the league for however many years and seen however many defenses. So a guy like him, we've seen everything, gets pretty efficient throughout the years.
Keegan, 29 assists tonight for you guys after a couple of games where you barely had any assists at all. The ball was moving better. Is that something you guys have tried to emphasize or at least had conversations about?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we're in LA, it kind of stuck a little bit. There's a lot of, I think, one pass or no pass possessions, and especially in this league, got to move the ball, move the defense, generate good shots. Boston's a team that does that really well. One dribble kicks, things like that, and that's something that we got to get better at. I think we did a good job of that today, just didn't knock down shots to finish.
Did you notice anything different from them in the fourth quarter? Like, did they go to another level to take that period 32-18, or was that more on you guys?
I think that was more on us. I mean, they obviously they're a championship team, so they know down the stretch where they're going, things like that. But at the end of the day, it's a make or miss league, and we were missing and they were making, and unfortunately that was the game right there.
Any New Year's resolutions?
New Year's resolutions? I don't know. I haven't really done one before, but nah, not for me. Thanks.
Aw, Keegan, no New Year's resolutions, just some goals, right?
I got one. Hey, for the whole team, move that ball.
I like that one, Deuce. We'll be right back.
Toyota Kings Post Game Live is presented